you just don't need to do it. You just don't need to think thoughts about people. Like, it's weird, but you don't need to plan for anything. Anytime I go and see someone in person, I'm like, oh, here you are. There you are. My thoughts don't change anything. If you had zero thoughts about them in between these two times, nothing actually changes, because the only true thing, man, is when you see them in person. Direct experience. What I've really come to understand is that your thoughts about the person are just projections. You're not really thinking about them. Your thinking is being filtered through you and your mind. And so you're thinking about them, but you're really just projecting you onto them. The closest you can get to them is to have no mind at all and to just go and see them and look them in the eye. Be present with them, right? I just cannot go and see another person. I cannot have a conversation with someone without having this feeling of like truth. It's as if my ideas about them are instantly melted away the second I see them. I'm like, oh my God. For me, it's literally at the point where it's quite spiritual. And it's very interesting, this, because it's like the universe has made me see this, right? It's made me experience, we could say, pure reality. It's kind of like anytime you go and see the thing, like the real thing, real, you just get humbled by the universe. Like, man, your thoughts were just so far off. Your mind was just BSing you the whole time. Until you're there, in person, with the person or with the people or with whatever, with reality. That's what it really is. You may as well just not think thoughts, because you're just not thinking about the thing. It's just projection. And what this will save you from doing is basically overthinking. Because when you realize that direct experience of the person or the people is it, that's the reality, you'll save yourself the time and the effort of thinking thoughts about the person, because it's just not even necessary, dude. Like, if you overthink about someone, the entire time, that's unreliable, because you're not using direct experience, you're using mind. Like, as soon as you begin to use mind, you're already off track. And so what you've got to do with this, man, is this. You've got to train your mind to be present. You've got to train your mind to be prioritizing your direct experience with the person or with the people. That's what you've got to do. You've got to really lock it in. Like, if I'm not with them, anything I think is not them. It's me, because you're just using your own mind, right? You're cut off from direct experience. The deeper thing that's going on here, man, if you hadn't picked up on it, is this. When you're away from the person, you're in mind and ego. Whereas when you're with the person and literally one with the person, in the same presence as the person, you're with the reality of them, right? So we can make this distinction between when you're on your own and you're basically in ego, right? That's all you're using, versus, reality, right? And of course, this is the ultimate distinction, isn't it, man? Ego, reality, ego, God. When you're with the person, you can actually literally be one with them. Whereas when you're away from them, you actually don't have the reality of them. You can't actually experience them. You can't experience truth with a capital T, meaning direct experience of them. And when we say truth with a capital T, it doesn't always have to mean, it does mean the absolute. But we mean the absolute in your friend or in your family member or in whoever you're thinking about, right? To access them as absolute, you look them in the eye. Like, people say, there's a reason why people say the eyes are the windows to the soul, because they fucking are, dude. What's underneath all of this is, how close can we get to the person? How connected can we be to the person? That's what's really underneath all of this stuff. And it's perceive them in the deepest way possible by being as close to the reality as you can. Be so close to truth. Face the truth. Look them in the eye. This is the thing, man. Eye contact and holding space for each other and being present with each other is the way to face the truth. It is the way to see God in someone. Okay? Whereas when you're on your own, it's really hard to face the truth. You can look yourself in the mirror, you can look at yourself in the eyes, But basically, without that in-person direct experience, it's very, very hard to actually experience the reality of them. If anything, it's impossible, man. So what you've got to do, as we said, is train your mind to just trust the direct experience that you have. And also, basically, allow yourself to just surrender your thoughts about them. Give yourself permission to just stop thinking thoughts about people. Just be present with them. Just go and see them in person. Just be with that experience. And you don't really need any other experience, man. Okay, man, cool. We'll wrap the video up there. I hope this has been useful for you. Do try and apply this, man. Do try and train your mind to be present and to only use that present moment experience, because that is the most reliable. Okay, man? That's going to be it for me. I hope you've enjoyed this one. As always, take care and peace.